Touchdown, Alabama. Tide 100.9. Streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. HD2 Northport. W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9. And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Ready, Freddie?
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched the workout in the weight room. If you could pick up, you saw enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to take it, and I running back takes things back to success. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. It is a free-for-all Friday. On this beautiful day, we want to encourage you to be a part of the program, encourage you to get in on the conversation. I want to encourage you to call 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Come on in and make it a part of your morning routine, or post your thoughts and comments on the social media outlets and chat with us at Martin Houston 35 or the Martin Houston Live page. Got a question for you, kind of a bold prediction question, wanting to hear from you this morning. Go out to at Martin Houston 35 and let me hear from you. The question is, what's your bold prediction for Saturday scrimmage? Share yours, and the best responses will make the air. And, of course, I had a poll question tied in with that, giving you some things that I think may be some bold predictions. Which one is most likely to happen? Paul Tyson has 4 TD passes. The offense outplays the defense. J.C. Latham works his way onto the first team, and Saban has his first post-scrimmage first rant of the offseason. So that's just a few bold predictions. There can be many more. You may have one as well. Before we get into the conversation and welcome you into the program, remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone. You be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, not bad. Just happy it's Friday, Martin. Ready to get on with the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Big scrimmage coming up tomorrow. So that's going to be, of course, a part of the conversation. Couple miscellaneous thoughts before we get into the scrimmage. Of course, is did you see the news about the big elephant coming to Bryant-Denley, potentially Tusca? To have a Tusca corner at Alabama football.
I saw that, Martin, and I was wondering, do they need to readjust the Nick Saban statue to put it on top of that elephant?
I don't know, man. Have you seen it? Have you ever seen that elephant in person?
Never in person. I saw some pictures yesterday, and it looked like it's going to be an interesting addition to the campus.
The pictures don't do it any justice, man. It is. I've heard the story behind it, and I don't have it, memorized, so I'm not going to try to tell the whole story. But that's an actual replica of a elephant that existed in the wild in Africa. So it's a true replica of an elephant that size, and I forgot what its role was in the herd pack, whatever it's called, but that you run across that thing in the wild, son. It would definitely be eye opening and would get your 40 time down into the 4.2s. So it's going to be impressive. I think it will be a pretty neat addition. Alabama doesn't really have, don't have a live mascot of an elephant, but that's so symbolic of Alabama. So I think it'll be a neat little touch for people, and the pictures galore. Everybody will have to get a picture with Tuska when they come to Tuscaloosa. So, but it's worth seeing in person if you've never seen it. It really is humongous. I think it's 19 feet to the tip of the trunk, Joe. So it's huge. So we'll keep your eyes on that and maybe get us some pictures when it finally pops up. Another sidebar story. Remember, it's Free for All Friday. If you want to comment on Tuska, if you've seen Tuska, what was your first impression? You can call us and tell us about that on the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. Another story happening, Joe, around Alabama football. Najee Harris, your boy. I mean, not liking the criticism, and minor at that, from the NFL analysts McShay and Mel Kiper. He told them they could kiss his backside. Have you seen that story?
Yeah, he told Adam Schefter on his podcast they can kiss his rear end because Todd McShay was saying that he finally showed that he had receiving ability this past season. His comments were more along the lines of, "Hey man, I was stuck on the bench for the first couple of years."
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because they both still have him rated as, like, it's interesting how you could read that story. And if you don't dig into it, you be like, did Najee overreact? Because both of them, McShay still has him as a first rounder, and Kiper has him listed as his number one overall running back. But Najee was not happy with the assessment of what they said about him, because, as the young folks say, even though they were giving him a compliment, they also threw some shade in there, it seemed like. And as you pointed out, one of them was around receiving. Like he finally, I think it said something to the effect, he finally showed he could catch the ball. Najee's like, what are you talking about? I didn't play that much my freshman and sophomore year. And then he said last year, he said, yeah, and you don't really think about it this way, Joe, but Najee would have been the fifth option behind Judy, Ruggs, Waddle, and Smith. He's like, how many catches you expect me to have? And he did say there was one thing that Najee took offense to. He said he assumes that big backs aren't agile anyway, and he said, and he took offense to the oily hips statement. Now, some of the things that he said, I agree with. I do think that Najee matured this year, Joe. I do think that he may feel the same way about me. Najee matured as a runner this year. He really learned how, in my opinion, to finish runs in a way that I didn't think he did. And that's something you can judge whether you're a freshman, sophomore, or a fifth year senior, whether someone finishes runs or not. And Najee became a finisher. And once he did that, to me, at the end of last year, the guy just got better and better and better. And to me, if anybody passes because they're questioning any of the things that McShay had to say, they definitely don't matter. And then his his offense to Kuiper was that Kuiper just started talking about the number of carries and the number of touches. And I love Najee's response. I'm a big back. I'm not a little back. I train to carry the ball that many times. And even though he has 740 or so touches, that is, you just throw that number out there and that sounds like a lot, but that's only a couple hundred touches per year, both receiving and not even a couple hundred, actually, now that you think about it. And Joe, when you hear that number, that sounds like a lot, but when you spread it out over the number of times these young men play, like at Alabama has played a minimum of 13 games a year. When I played, we only played 13 games one time. The rest of the time it was going to be 12 or less, even if we ran through the entire season. So these guys have added a lot. So that's not a lot of carries per game. And do you think that really matters with the way the game has changed in terms of number of touches that running backs get at the next level?
I think that the carries is overblown. I think that you hit the nail on the head with kind of aggregating it across the 4 years. It's not quite 200. Now, obviously, last year was a bit more because of the role that he had, but I think it's overblown. I think teams are just looking to nitpick to try to get him to slide further down the board because I think he is the number one running back available in this year's class.
Yeah, and when you look at, I love it. He quickly went to one of his fellow alums now and said, "Look at Derrick Henry." You think Derrick Henry had too many carries? Their careers really paralleled each other a lot, Joe, in terms of the way they were used at Alabama and how, as the senior season went along, they just got better and better and was used more and more. Different style players in terms of the diversity. Well, and it could be as much the offense, different offenses. But Najee Harris, I love the fact that he said he's trained to be a guy who can carry the load. And we forget that the guy's 6'2 and a half, 6'3", 230 pounds. I was a fullback and I weighed 230 my senior year. So I know the young man can take a pounding, and looking forward to see where he goes. And hopefully he gets with a team that uses him the way it took the Titans a little bit of time to figure out how to use Derrick Henry correctly, but they do now, and they have become a relevant football team. And hopefully Najee lands with a team like that utilizes him in both the passing game and the running game. Coming back on the other side, we'll flip the conversation and start talking a little football in terms of A-Day. Some news coming out today regarding A-Day. Hopefully that gets us a little more informed about what's going to happen next Saturday. Greg Burns saying hopefully he'll have that decision on today. What's that? We'll talk about that coming back on the other side. And I'm waiting to hear your bold prediction for Saturday scrimmage. You're tuned in to Tide 100.9, the home of the Martin Houston Show, the Sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. Give us a call on the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904.
Right now online. Hey, you okay?
guilt, indecision. These raw feelings are common when users witness an opioid overdose. As a bystander, fear and indecision may race through your mind, but it's vital that you call for help. Alabama's Good Samaritan law protects those who act in good faith in situations like an opioid overdose. Find out more about Alabama's Good Samaritan law at VitalAlabama.com.
Have you been hanging on to a The Better Business Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama present Shred Day, Friday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Load your paper, bring it in boxes or a container, and we will shred it for free while you wait. Shred Day is limited to paper only, no electronics, and 2 containers. Shred Day, Friday, April 9th, conveniently located in the old McFarland Mall parking lot at 900 Skyland Boulevard East in Tuscaloosa from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
At Northport Auto Supply, we understand there's nothing worse than a dead battery. So to keep this from happening, be sure you periodically check your battery, including the terminals for corrosion. And if you ever need help, then come by Northport Auto Supply and let our knowledgeable professionals check your battery for free. Northport Auto Supply has the area's largest inventory of batteries in stock, and we'll even install it for you at no charge.
Northport Auto Supply. Why go anywhere else?
Nissan believes you deserve a car that thrills you. So we have to ask, does your car thrill you? When you hit the pedal, do you get something back? A chill in your spine, goosebumps on your goosebumps. When you take off, do your fingers tighten around the steering wheel? Does your heart beat in your stomach and your breath catch in your chest? Does driving make you feel alive? Because it should. And if your car doesn't thrill you, ours will. This is the new Nissan.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A mixture of clouds and sunshine today. We'll have scattered showers and strong thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. The high today 81, tonight's low 61. Tomorrow's storms early in the day. Those storms could be severe with damaging winds, then becoming sunny, the high 75. I'm James Spain of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 57 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Southmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Right now.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's a free-for-all Friday. We'd love to hear your bold predictions on this Friday morning, so give them to us, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Give us a call on the Taco Casa hotline so that you can share what you have as your bold prediction. While we're doing that, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors that make it all possible. Alabama1.org has been a partner of the Martin Houston Show pretty much for 3+ years and running. So I want to encourage you to go out and support them. Have a great promotion going on right now in regards to making your dreams come true. Big dreams, bigger savings. If you're in the market for a home mortgage, up to $2,000 cash back, no admin and processing fees, and award-winning local service. So go right now, limited time offer on Alabama One mortgage product. It's alabama1.org. Go to the website. You can click apply and apply online, or stop by one of our branch locations that's open. You can go to alabama1.org to find out those locations as well. And if you get that new home, or if you get an auto loan, you can also stop right over to Alabama One Insurance and get quoted there as well. All right. Let's excuse me. Let's look at a fun fact that's presented by C.J. Watson. An interesting fact that goes to whether or not Greg Burns is the best AD athletic director in the country. Alabama is the only school, according to C.J. Watson, have not verified facts here. Alabama is the only school to send a team in the college football playoffs. So that only leaves 4 schools. So once you do that, only 4 schools could be in this conversation anyway. Men's NCAA basketball tournament, women's NCAA basketball tournament, and the NCAA gymnastics finals. So, and CJ Watson, and another big get by Nate Oates in Alabama basketball with the transfer yesterday. That is total another big news as Namari Burnett, a combo guard from Texas Tech, who only played in 12 games last year, Joe, deciding to bring his talent to Tuscaloosa. Is he coming as a walk-on, or is there going to be some transfer and shakeup in the roster management, Joe?
There's going to be some shakeup on roster management. He's not going to come without the scholarship, so somebody's going to get an invitation to the transfer portal.
Yeah, and that's another conversation that we can get to, because when I heard that, I'm like, okay. And then we still could we take another guard? I have not checked this and didn't verify it yesterday after Mr. Burnett committed, but Hank has told us about the young man from Birmingham that was Penn State's top scorer last year. He also had Bama on his list as a potential landing place. So, it'll be interesting to see. But with yesterday's commitment from Namari Burnett, it's going to be interesting to see who's out and who's in. So think about that over the weekend. And while you're thinking about that, there's still been no official decision, Joe, on the capacity for the A-Day game. The tickets will go on sale tomorrow, and Greg Burns said that by that time there should be a decision on how many people can come. It's always been a fun ticket, Joe, but has the suspense increased the height of the urgency or the demand or anticipation for getting this 8A ticket? And do you think they're going to change the capacity with the mask mandate expiring today and things beginning to move back to more normal?
I think they're definitely going to adjust the capacity. I don't think we'll see 100%, but I think that we might see something closer to 40%, maybe 50%, somewhere in that range, which is still quite a significant jump. And I'm sorry, can you repeat the first part of your question? I'm sorry.
No. That's what I was asking, is just just about this ticket. The fact that they've not said how many, but the fact that you're going to have to pay for the 8A ticket. First time in the Nick Saban era that I can remember that the ticket has been a price point. It's only $5, but being that there's so much to look at and so many new players trying to get on the field, and just anticipation of what can happen with this game, I think it will. And the fact that so many fans have not been in Bryant-Denny in over a year, it'll be I think a hot ticket item that goes on sale tomorrow. And I'm like you, I think you'll at least see the capacity double. I think it'll still have, even though the mask mandate has been lifted, I think that the first big event will actually also still have some restrictions around it. But I do think you'll see that number go forth or north of 40% or so for the 8-day game. So anyway, that's just, like I told you, it's a free-for-all Friday. And Curtis Lewis asking a question on chat, Joe. I'm not sure, what it's in regards to. Maybe he can give it a little more. Curtis, if you give a little more detail, or Joe, you may know what he's talking about. Says, how about South Carolina's number one benefactor scathing letter to their board for not recognizing the death of her mom? So undoubtedly there must be some situation in South Carolina where a benefactor, top money donor there didn't get the appreciation that they expected from South Carolina. But
so the I was going to say young lady, but she's not quite young anymore. Donated $75 million to South Carolina, and has donated a lot of money to South Carolina in the course of her history. And basically, her husband passed away, and the university did not make an announcement or did not make an acknowledgement of his passing, or send condolences, or any sort of human decency thing that someone would do in that situation when a friend or a business partner has a death in the family. And she basically said that one of her biggest regrets now in life is giving money to the University of South Carolina.
Oh, wow. That's not good for South Carolina in terms of reaction. But speaking of condolences, want to send to the South Carolina, the situation that happened. Sorry about that technical issue there, but Jude, I was just sending out condolences to those who were impacted by the shooting up in the Carolinas, where the young man, former football player, uh, uh, murdered a doctor, his wife, two grandchildren, and shot at least two more on site that were working on the premise. Um, and of course, it immediately went to that this was a football related issue. I don't know if that's the case or not. I know that's an easy fallout, Joe, quick to blame. One of the things I read in there that makes me think that it's also could be potentially COVID related. The young man had opened a business right before COVID, and you don't know how that's doing as well. So let's go ahead and get the break here. We're going to come back. We're going to get Pat. We're going to get Curtis. We're going to get you in on the conversation. But I do want to send condolences to those and anyone else that had lost a loved one in any way, but especially those through the senseless mass shootings. And unfortunately, my heart hurts because coming back, and Joe, I say this carefully. We were made for socialization. And for the first time in a long time, what happened to our country, there's an adjustment. And I don't think that all people are adjusting back to the new normal very well. And a lot of people are coming off of an extremely hard year, and we need to recognize that. So be more sensitive to your coworkers and to family and friends, and the impact of whether you believe COVID was a conspiracy that was exaggerated, or whether you believe it was real and exaggerated, or whether you believe that every single statement you've ever heard is 100% on point. Know that there's a lot of people that are struggling and hurting, and they're sort of like people coming back from war, having to readjust into society. Joe, I believe that there's people who are having that issue right now because the readjustment period kind of happened faster than people thought, and I think people are struggling with that. So And let's just remember them in our prayers. Coming back on the other side, those of you who've called in, we'll get you in. Those of you who are posting your comments on Facebook, we'll get you in as well. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks and traffic is light as we kick off for Friday morning. We are expecting rain a bit later this morning, so be prepared and drive carefully. If you see conditions, give us a call, 205-886-8886. Where are the deals? At your hometown Nissan dealer. It's Townsend Nissan. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Ask big.
Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
And he's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it,
more importantly, when she sees it,
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. Now Town Square has tools that can help your business stand out and grow today. Log on to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free local market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses in town are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too with Town Square. Plus, be one of the first business owners to sign up with Town Square and receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Start growing your business today. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
Tax season is here, and Pearl River Resort is letting you cash in your tax return for a chance to win even more cash. We'll cash your federal or state tax refund check for you at Silver Star or Golden Moon Casinos now through April 30th. Cashing your check at Pearl River Resort's casinos instantly gives you a chance to spin the big wheel, where you can win up to $100 in bonus bets. Get more play and win big this tax season. Only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 to gamble.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I'm on your hot right now.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Let's get right to the phone lines. It's a free-for-all Friday looking for bold predictions. And Curtis Lewis had made a statement on Facebook. I asked for an explanation. I believe he's called in to give me that explanation, or he may have something else totally different. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man? Oh, Curtis had to go, so maybe he can call back in and let us know. Also, let's go ahead and get to Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Good morning, Martin. I'm making a very bold prediction. Next Saturday's ticket is going to be extremely difficult.
That's not bold.
Because, go ahead.
That's not bold. I already said that's obvious, Pat. Give me something bold, Pat. Come on, man.
Let me finish. I have 4 season tickets, and I did not qualify for an 8-day ticket. Hurt my feelings. But I had to call my ticket broker, and I got tickets in the zone. Hey, and they ain't cheap. But hey, I promise you this, ain't more than $5. but the in the zone, Martin. And hey, but here's the thing. My bold prediction is we have enough wide receivers to split up in order to make a very interesting practice. We have 2 quarterbacks and one that is a hybrid that and it may get a chance to, from what we're hearing Coach Saban saying, I think you're going to have special packages for that young man. But we're going to have two quarterbacks, and my bold prediction is that we're going to see Coach Bryant's grandson shine.
Okay. Hey, Pat, let me ask you a question. I do agree we have a lot of wide receivers and the potentially some really good wide receivers and more diversity in our wide receiver corps. You know, sometimes things you look at and you go, that's interesting. Who's going to win this battle? Paul Bryant Jr., Paul Bryant's son, Paul Tyson, 6'5", 228-pound redshirt sophomore, wears jersey number 17. 6'3", 195-pound Agiya Hall wears number 17, true freshman, Valrico, Florida. Let me ask you this. Which guy ends up wearing number 17 this fall? Because they're both on the offensive side of the ball. And, you know, so somebody's going to lose out on that jersey battle.
Oh, man. It probably depends on what happens Saturday.
I mean, think about it. Both of them on the roster on RollTide.com. Both have on number 17, and so I'm like, okay, somebody's gonna do it. Now you know why Paul Tyson wears number 17, Pat?
Well, I guess at the time that he was starting to wear that number 17, we had 17 national titles.
Nope. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers.
Okay, Phillip Rivers. Okay, I got you.
You know, Phillip was an Alabama kid that Mike Shula said wasn't good enough to play quarterback. So he was going to sign him as a tight end.
Yeah, Mike was a great quarter, and is a great quarterback coach. But Mike sure missed out. But hey, the NFL misses out on quarterbacks drafting them number 1 in the nation all the time.
All right, so make your bold prediction, Pat. Paul Tyson, Agiya Hall. Which one's wearing number 17? I mean, that right there will tell you a lot about how they expect to use Paul Tyson or Agiya Hall. It may tell you. It doesn't.
I'm gonna say that Paul Tyson keeps that number, and but I do know this: everybody in the country talks about how slow Mr. Hall is. However, he runs routes like a Steve Largent.
Yeah,
and Steve Largent played many years with the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes,
and from what I understand, he runs routes similar to that. Well, that's my bold prediction. Go ahead.
If he's 6'3", 195 and he runs routes like Steve Largent, then he has a different skill set in and of itself, because most of the big guys are not as fluid. Not that they're not fluid, not as fluid in the route running as those 6 foot, 5'10" to 6 foot, 6'1" guys. So that'll be interesting to see if Mr. Hall works himself out there on the field. I just thought that was an interesting thing on a Free for All Friday to bring up, that we have 2 guys, and one stands on the sideline a lot unless the starter goes down. The other guy probably going to work himself into some playing time, so it'll be interesting to see who wins out on the number game. So
I'm just anxious to see that speed kills, and that our other freshman out of Florida is supposed to be the fastest thing that our Dr. Ray has ever seen.
Fastest thing Dr. Ray's ever seen?
Yep.
Which one is that? Christian Leary? I mean,
Larry.
Yeah.
Larry.
Okay. All right. I heard he was fast.
But he said he was fast.
Yeah. So maybe he replaces the Waddle effect. We'll talk about that more. Thanks, Pat. Unless you got something else for us.
Have a blessed day. I know we got to get some more callers.
Oh, that's okay. No, not a problem. Thanks, Pat. Hey, Joe, have you did you realize that you had two guys wearing the same number on the same side? It's just going to be an interesting battle within a battle for a number. We'll probably get a peep on that on Saturday because I doubt they both have on 17 come scrimmage time on Saturday, unless they're on separate teams. I guess it's possible, but anyway, go ahead.
I saw that when they released the early enrollees numbers, that Ajayi Hall had 17, and Paul Tyson had changed his number, I believe, from 15 to 17.
Correct.
So we'll have to see what ends up happening with the numbers there. I think that you may end up seeing Ajayi Hall work some on special teams, so he can keep that keep that 17 out there, and we'll just end up seeing who emerges and is more likely to play with the first team offense. We'll probably end up with the number 17.
That's exactly right. So unless Saban gives a nod to the loyalty thing, so we'll see. And that's what Curtis Lewis said yesterday he does. But anyway, a couple bold predictions. Joe, I'll get your thoughts on the first one. The offense. Let's go ahead and get to. I see that Curtis just called back in. Let's go ahead and get him, and then we can have that conversation in the fourth quarter. Curtis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, Martin, how's it going there, guys?
All right, how you doing, man?
With the South Carolina Boost, I just thought it was funny because this lady who's the number one benefactor of South Carolina. Matter of fact, her name is on the business school. That's her name on the school there.
Oh wow!
Her mom passed, and nobody, the board, nobody from South Carolina recognized, sent any condolences, any flowers, or anything to her for this passing, this loss. But Clemson did.
Oh,
yeah. And so she wrote a letter that was just pearl paint to South Carolina.
Hold on.
And they.
So not only did they not send anything, but Clemson sent something.
Oh yeah, Clemson sent something right off the bat.
Oh my goodness. That would be like
he was just calling them every name in the book.
Oh, that would be the equivalent of Auburn sending something to an Alabama family, to someone in the Bryant family, and no one in Alabama even recognizing it. That I don't know what the long-term effect would be, but for a moment there would be some. I'd hate to be in the room when she shows up at the next meeting on campus. I would hate to be the officials that have to conduct that meeting. So,
I mean, she just lit into them too in that letter. And the letter was published by the newspaper in South Carolina. And so everything she said was right there in black and white.
Oh man, that's really bad. Hey, let me ask you a question. Something you mentioned yesterday. Were you referencing the Jalen Moody starting when you said that Saban does put value in playing loyalty and good teammates sometimes over the most talent? Is that what trick?
I was referencing Jalen Moody. Even though I think Jalen has come a long way since he's come there, and he's playing a lot better. But the Moy Kennedy, the Braden kid are are better players than he is. They don't have the experience in the system. Of course, they don't have any field experience at all, but they don't have the experience in the system. And Moody has been waiting his turn.
Yeah.
And so I think Saban is going to give those guys their shot. Let them do it as far as they can do it. And then when he realizes they can't get them past that particular point, then he'll put the other guys in. And a good example of this was when we didn't have any middle linebackers, and he put Christian Harris and Shane Lee in, and his statement was that I'd rather have them in there and making the mistakes and being able to correct them than to have somebody in there who can't necessarily handle the position.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that Saban will do.
Yeah, it's going to be
if
interesting.
You don't have a choice.
Does Shane Lee get back into the rotation? I mean, that to me, that's kind of an intriguing story because he played so much as a freshman. He pretty much could count last year as a redshirt year or a free year, whichever way you want to count it. So he still has 3 years to play. Does he get back in the rotation, or if he's not, do we see Shane Lee's name in the portal?
I think we will see Shane Lee's name in the portal. I think Shane Lee, once he redefines his body, if he's able to redefine his body, it'll get a lot quicker sideline to sideline. He will be a benefactor of being able to stay in the system. But the guys behind him are just better. And they're just faster. They're able to make the reads on the offensive plays a lot quicker. They're able to go sideline to sideline faster.
Yeah,
and I just don't think he's going to be able to hold on to that position.
Yeah, I think Shane Lee. Yeah, I think Shane Lee is a guy who I think he's talented, no question. I just wonder, is he caught up in the transition of the? It's been transitioning for a while, so don't misunderstand this. But he's old school body. He'd be a guy that would probably, to me, reminds me a lot of Ragland, Reggie Ragland, in that thick body, good football player, smart football player, but with the percentage of times you have to cover backside of the backfield on more than just swing passes, but the fact that offenses are starting to use running backs. Could you imagine Shane Lee having to cover Najee Harris last year? I mean,
no.
And that's kind of where he finds himself, and I think that's why you see Jalen Moody in there right now. And I'm like you. I know I would, if I'm Jalen Moody, I would have my eyes on DeMoy Kennedy and Jackson Bratton, especially Kennedy. I actually, that was starting to be my bold prediction that coming out of this scrimmage, DeMoy Kennedy may make a move on the inside linebacker position. I didn't go there, but I thought about it.
I think he will too, and I watched film on Kennedy from his senior year and his defense that he played in. A lot of times they played Tampa 2. And, in Tampa 2, the middle linebacker, it makes a very deep drop. And he's covering that third.
Right.
And you will never see Shane Lee covering that third.
No.
It'll never happen.
Never happen. And like I said, I'm always careful when I talk about these kids because that's no offense to him. The guy is a talent. He is a D1 talent. Speaking of Shane Lee, but it would be like me if I were to go to college right now, even though I was a really good fullback. If I were to be coming out right now, I'd have very few choices at the D1 level based on the style that I play. It wouldn't mean that I'm not talented enough. It just means that it's only a few spots that I fit, and I think Shane Lee may be slowly finding himself in that position. So thanks for calling back and giving us a little more detail on that South Carolina thing. Hate to be the Gamecocks today, especially with the little, even though they did it, hopefully for the right reason, it didn't help that Clemson responded and South Carolina didn't to their number one. Did you hear that? Number one benefactor whose name's on the business building. So thanks, Curtis. Have a good one, man. Coming back on the other side, we'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show, where I'll give you 4 things to look for bold predictions. you can get yours in if you want to right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, traffic moving well around town with no wrecks and just some minor congestion on McFarland at 69 and 69 at Skyland. If you see other conditions, of course, give us a call. If you want the best deal on a brand new Nissan, head to your hometown Nissan dealer, Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. Good morning. A man is fighting for his life at DCH Regional Medical Center this morning after a hit and run in downtown Tuscaloosa's Timerson Square. That according to TPD. Spokesperson Stephanie Taylor reports the victim was struck by a white vehicle around 10:22 p.m. last night. The incident comes less than a week after 4 victims and 1 suspect were wounded in a shooting outside of Roxy's Bar and Nightclub at Timerson Square. Governor Ivey's face mask order comes to an end at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'm Don Hertler.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
The Double Down event has been extended at Carlock CDGR of Tuscaloosa. It's your chance to get more from your stimulus check and top dollar for your trade. With trade values the highest we've seen in years, buying a new car is easier than ever. And even if you don't buy from us, we'll provide a no-obligation trade offer on your current car. Stop by for your no-hassle trade evaluation, and while you're here, check out amazing deals on new vehicles during the Jeep Celebration event. Get top dollar for your trade and big deals on new cars this month at Carlock CDGR of Tuscaloosa.
Let me get right back to you. Sandra, those banners go out tonight. Can you count them? Indeed, knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin. On machine 4? Like at Monica's Print Shop. To fulfill orders on time, she needs to get started hiring right away. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
The Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card transformed your everyday missions, so you can turn your commute fare, next stop 8th Street, into tickets for an awesome night out. Turn your grocery run into a trip to total relaxation. Get 3 times the points on supermarkets, restaurants, and on gas and transit. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Over to the Armed Forces, the DoD, Veterans and their families, insured by NCUA. American Express is registered service mark of American Express, used by Navy Federal under license.
Risky behavior with alcohol can lead to future health problems without warning. High blood pressure, stroke, and cancer. Substance misuse is dangerous. Knowing the risk is vital.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Martin, you're hot right now. You have 3 minutes left. Ready, go.
All right, let's quickly give you my bold predictions for tomorrow, and then we'll let Super Joe have a few seconds there, a few minutes at the end. Paul Tyson has 4 TDs. Offense outplays the defense. J.C. Latham works his way onto the number ones, and Saban has his first rant. Right now, with the limited voting, Saban's first rant is running away with it with 59% of the vote. Real quick, P. Beans saying Shane Lee was the first middle linebacker after a couple of misses on other recruits at linebacker. I totally agree. Jalen Moody was actually got his chance to sign with Alabama because of a couple of misses, and Nick Saban said so much. And then also Yep, absolutely. The last 2 years have been 4 different than the past 2. Let's bring in Super Joe. Super Joe, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Oh, man, here to Paul Tyson. I'm glad somebody put some things in the clear with me yesterday because somebody talking about somebody. Now, don't get me wrong, I hear that Jalen Milroe was going to pick up coming ready to play, but and then somebody called me out and said, well, Jalen Milroe might jump ahead of Paul Tyson Brown, but somebody said, came and said, oh, I don't know where that information comes from, but I said, well, okay, but right now, Coach Saban says otherwise. Well, I'm glad this right now, what I just heard on this show just confirmed it. Paul Tyson hit 4 touchdowns. Well, we know well, now it's all clear to me who's behind Bryce Young. Well, that's clear to me.
Well, I think Paul Tyson has some of the Mac Jones factor in it. I don't think he necessarily upsets the apple cart in terms of beating Bryce out, because Bryce has had command of this team since he stepped foot on campus pretty much and was competing against Mac Jones. But I do think that Paul Tyson knows that his way onto the field is to be the smartest, the most accurate, the guy who has full command of the offense. And I know I've heard he's putting that work in. So, Super Joe, it'll be interesting to see if it pans out for him on tomorrow. That's my bold prediction. Paul Tyson has 4 TD passes on tomorrow. The offense, I'm not sure I'm going to go with that one. Offense outplays the defense, probably not. J.C. Latham will get some work with the first ones, and Saban has his first rant on somebody, not necessarily on their own team, but on someone on tomorrow, maybe on a news reporter. Thanks, Super Joe. Have a good one. Hey, remember, those tickets go on sale tomorrow. We'll know the capacity of who can come and how many. And also remember, at 5 o'clock today, the mask ordinance mandate goes away, but still be safe, smart, and respectful as you move out. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither behind the glass, pushing all the right buttons. And hey, remember this: trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Thanks to callers, listeners, supporters, and viewers. We'll catch you on Monday as we break down Alabama's second scrimmage. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the top.